money making money, money making money, money making money, money, money making money, manifest, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in the safe, piggy bank on full. And I'm living life abundant. I'm making money fast. I'm a money making magnet, making cold hard cash. I'm making money. Oh, I am blessed.
What's up? What's up, everybody? This is Alchemizing Energy. Honey, man, this whole thing that's going on, man, is crazy with all this racism coming out. People are really showing their true colors. I cannot believe it. In my lifetime, I really get to see people really, really show who they really are. And it's really tripping me out. And so I want to really get into Nick Fuentez and how he talked about Candace Owens, But she kind of deserves it because Candace Owens has been, she listen, it's almost like winter was coming and it came. Like all this grifting, same thing with the twins, what they call themselves, the whatever twins, the Hodge twins. They've been always talking mess about the black people, whatever. And then slowly but surely, the Hodge twins, Candace Owens, all these little Uncle Toms. I'm waiting for that Jesse Lee Peterson to get his day in hell, where someone tell him shut the fuck up, And I know I didn't cuss too early in the stream, and this probably won't be monetized, but I'm just getting so irritated by all this bull stuff. So let's get to hear what Nick Fuentez got to say about Candace Owens. Now, we always knew that she was, okay, come on now, Candace Owens, you kind of been on some coon stuff. And I think, and even Kanye was even up there with Nick Fuentez. I don't know where he's at right now. He done went over to Korea and just said, F America. I haven't heard nothing from Kanye. But he was up there with a KKK shirt on. I think that all y'all was all up his behind. And then he turned on you as soon as it seemed like it was going in another direction. Boom. He over here calling you a coon, calling you Uncle Tom. I did not know that white people would call a black person Uncle Tom, but this is my first time actually hearing this. Let's go and let's hear. Hey, what's up, E-Black? Let's hear what Nick Fuentez got to say about Candace Owens. And this is crazy. I'm like, wow. I thought that, hey, they were all allies. They were all working together. Nope. He said, nope, you a coon, honey. You a Uncle Tom. Let's go.
Nika Bob Chain AI sent $15. Candace getting ratioed by you makes her want to play in your snow.
Yeah, she's so frustrated by me. She's tearing her hair out. She's sitting there at her, what do you call that? Like where they put on makeup. What do they call that? But she's sitting there crying to herself. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. She's obsessed with me. She's obsessed with me. Have you seen this tear? Isn't
he a virgin? Someone said he was a virgin. I think he wants someone to be obsessed with him, but let's go.
Been on. So she tries to set me up. I bitch slap her. Back in your place. Sorry, but you're a woman. You're not going to tell me what to do. I know you're not used to being talked to like that, but this is a real nigga you're talking to. This is some real.
Yeah, you very much are a nigga. And that's crazy.
Real nigga shit. So she has me on her show. She tries to set me up. I bitch slap her epically. I say, sit down. Then she runs to Tucker Carlson. Women are so crafty like this. She goes, okay. And then she goes to the burn book. Then she goes on her phone and she goes, hey, Tucker, let's do a little show about Nick Fuentez. He treated me like shit. I'll go to Tucker. She goes to Tucker. I bitch slap him too. Because she didn't learn her lesson the first time. I bitch slap her. She runs behind Tucker. She goes, Tucker, he's abusive. I bitch slap him too. Just on account of I'm a real nigga. Then this week she has on Milo. She goes, that'll show him I'll have on. You think I give a shit? Then she replies to the ultimate seether, who's been obsessed with me for 3 years on Twitter today. She goes, This woman is obsessed. This is like some ex-girlfriend. Why do I have this effect on people? People can never just move on. It's like, look, I'm going to tell you one time, I'm going to put you through the motherfucking wall. I'm going to tell you 2 times. I told her what's up. I said, you are a woman. Make me a sandwich. Now, any normal person would say, all right, turkey or ham. You know, any normal person would say,
you are a woman, make me a sandwich. Now, she has a book called Make Me a Sandwich, so I get the whole reference, but okay. This is like that incel talking point, you know? It's crazy.
all right, I lost that encounter. But she, like everybody else, she can't let it go. She's joining the ex-girlfriends club. It's huge. It's still absolutely massive. And
does anyone know if he's still a virgin or not? Does anyone know? Did he get some? Does anybody know if he got some by now?
yeah, I would just tell her, hey, listen, let it go. Let it go, okay, girl? My ex, or we're going to have to settle this. We could do this the easy way, or we could do this the fun way. We could do this the fun way. Candace, why are you playing so hard to get? Candace.
See, he likes Candace. Listen.
Candace.
See. Yeah, that's what it is. He got a little crush on Candace because and it probably hurt his feelings because she probably got with him. I'm gonna watch some of the video that she put out. Let's see.
Candace, you've been a naughty. Oh, you've been a bad girl. Candace. What are we gonna do with you? You just won't quit. You just won't let it go. I'm gonna have to come over there and wipe that smirk off your face. No, but it is kind of crazy. She's not gonna win this one though, because she's an idiot. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what makes it hot. That's kind of what makes her hot, because she's just like this stupid ghetto little whore. She's just a stupid little ghetto bitch.
Wow. You know, and maybe if she was not marginalized the way that she comes at people, that people probably would have stood up for her. But man, I don't know. Do you see the Black community coming out and rescuing Candace and saying, hey, hold up, you know, what are we doing here? Do you see anyone like say, hey, wait a minute, don't call her a whore? Where's her husband at?
And you know, and she wants the white guys. That's the other thing. She loves George Farmer. Wait till she gets a load of me. You know, she clearly likes the white guys. And we're in this like tension. It's like, I'm this white racist. She's this like uppity black chick, Blexit. She's trying to hide her ghetto accent. Her whole life, she's like, I'm a baller ass bitch. No, I'm not ghetto. I'm actually a sophisticated black woman, you know, but she wants some of this. So I think I'm going to make her lose her mind by the end of it. If the Brigitte Macron thing if that's not evidence she's already lost her mind, I think I'm going to make her go a little crazy. But Candace Owens, what are we going to do with her? It's going to be crazy when we finally have hate sex and we're both transgender. Dude, what is going to happen when me and Candace finally, we say, all right, enough, and we start tearing each other's clothes off, and we're both transgender? She's a transgender man. I'm a transgender woman. We're going to be like, what the fuck?
What is he saying here? Crazy.
I'm her dad. I'm her white dad. Dude, that's going to be, I'm going to be her mom. Do you know that I'm actually Candace Owens' mom? I'm Candace Owens' white mom. But
We just talking about a bunch of bullshit. All right, let's go into why he's so bent out of shape. Let's go into it.
I think, just to be clear, I think there would be group differences if you took it, like we were talking about, an American versus somebody who graduates college in Europe. There'd be tremendous differences. I
Not
truly,
tremendous, but yeah, there
Yeah,
would
there'd
be
be
slight
differences,
differences,
yeah.
but you don't
So
think
I
that
think
racially there's differences between races.
I think, yeah, because we have huge differences culturally. So going to your point of saying, I don't want to live in a black neighborhood, well, neither does LeBron James when he gets money, right?
Right.
And there's a reason for that,
Mhm.
because there is something that's happening culturally in Black America that's been going on for a very long time. But that thing, I would argue, didn't exist in.
What about in Africa and Haiti? I mean, they're killing and eat each other in Africa and Haiti. Everywhere where they are, you have these problems.
Yeah, I'd like to look into, and I'm pleading ignorant, but I've heard some things about what happened in Haiti and what the Clinton Foundation did there. So I think I'd have to look more into the history of Haiti to be able to push back on that at all. I don't think I agree with that.
What about all of Africa then? There's not one country in sub-Saharan Africa that's successful. Not one. They're all least developed countries. They're all
Yeah.
failed states.
This kind of reminds me, and we could kind of flesh out this conversation together, and I'm not perhaps ready to have it fully, but I do remember going back to Dave Smith where he was conceding a point on, well, all of these other Middle Eastern countries, no, you wouldn't want to live there. You'd want to live in Israel. In my mind, I'm going, well, because you just keep bombing the crap out of them if they ever try to get ahead.
Sub-Saharan Africa, he loves to like bring up Sub-Saharan Africa, but that is a colonized area. Those are colonized parts of Africa. West Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, they're all colonized. So who are you going to blame for that? You can't blame the people that are colonized for the colonizer taking over that area and it not being developed. What are you talking about?
I remember watching this clip of him saying that, going, why don't these countries get ahead? And kind of going back in my mind to the Gaddafi speech where he was speaking essentially about, here's what we got to do in Libya to get ahead. Here's what we're going to do with the dollar, and we're going to be progressive and this and that. And
exactly, and so she don't even know, why did she even enter this have this interview. She don't even know the talking points. He's able to like make her look stupid as hell. Candace, I wish you would have like did some research. Hell, we don't go on like a conscious platform and get some data before you actually go online with this racist fool talking about Sub-Saharan Africa. I don't understand why you would even do this interview and can't even retort what he's saying. What are you doing?
they killed him. And then what happened to those Libyan refugees? Suddenly they're now pouring into, just like he said was going to happen, that they're now pouring into the European continent, and Europeans are complaining, who are these people? And so the question is, are we allowing, because I'm like, Africa is a pretty rich country. Like, why aren't
yeah.
Africans controlling the diamond trade? Who's taking all of the diamonds so that they can't control the diamond trade? And how long have these people been doing that, being essentially culture vultures? That's kind of the journey that I've been on now.
Like in a nice way, See how she's sitting, see how he's sitting. She's just talking matter of fact. She don't even look confident in what she's saying. He got his hands like this. She got her hands like this, like closed off. Like, no, she should be sitting just like he is. She got her, come on now.
In terms of really trying to go back and look into history to see what's happened.
Mhm.
And I never trust myself when I have a perspective now, because
Sounds insecure. How are you going to get into a conversation with a known racist and be insecure about it? You see how her whole demeanor is withdrawn? That's why he's over here able to like kind of like punk her in a certain way, because you didn't even seem sure of yourself, Candace. How are you going to do this interview and look withdrawn and not like look like you need to like take the same position he taken, mirror his body language, and then maybe some security will come upon you and the ancestors will put some enlightenment into your mind. But you come across like you don't even know what to say. Candace, we listen. I actually like Candace Owens. I'm not gonna lie. I like some of the things that she says. I enjoy her work sometimes, but this right here is not looking like a powerful person. It's like a person that's like retreating.
I realized how much of my opinions and beliefs were shaped by the public school system.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think you're right. I think that there has been a very sophisticated effort to, just like you would say now, in terms of people that are intentionally attacking Anglo-Saxons. I'm just learning about that there were these books that were written to, we must genocide the Anglo-Saxons, that were going on for a lot longer than I realized. History didn't begin with World War II, but I think it would take a lot of time to kind of unpack that.
Yeah.
Like, are we stopping people from getting ahead just because?
I mean, he just waiting for a moment to talk. He ain't listening to a goddamn word you're saying.
I don't know.
That just sounds, I mean, being honest with you, that just sounds to me like a left-wing argument when they say, why don't these countries get ahead? Colonialism, you're a colonizer. It's like, okay, but when we got there, they had no development. When we got to Africa, they had no technological development.
So you
No
think
recorded
that
history.
even if we weren't at war, and sure, you could say that you think that's a
Prove it. Prove that when you went to Africa, that they had no technological development, and then Europe did. You're talking about how these people did not have anything technologically developed, and that Europe was like the center of technology. Like, what do you mean? When we got there, they had no technological development. Based on what? Show me some real data about that. Show me some references as to that they were not technologically, had no technology. And what is technology? Hell, if you know how to crop a certain way, that's technology. If you know how to make sure that your crops end up being fruitful every year, that's technology. But see, the thing is that these people are so racist that their only way that they understand about technology, gunpowder. We had the gunpowder. We had warring development. We was able to war with you. So you couldn't see any technological development because you came into war and to take over. You don't know what development they had. You don't know what kind of way that this society really ran. Because you came in on a warring takeover type of thing. They came in, make friends, find out what they had, and then it came back to like take it over. They did not actually respect the culture of that land to understand the technologies that they had. So okay, but they was not able to beat them just off rip straight up like that. They had to come back a few times. Then they got beat a few times. Then they had to come back and win. Got gunpowder and was able to shoot with a gun, because when they tried to do it the other way, no. But the bottom line is that to like say that they did not have any technology, when even how to farm crops can be a technology. How to make land and how to like take a certain land and do certain stuff is technology. What is your definition of technology?
left this argument. I would only push back on that because I've learned so much about just like recent history that I didn't know. But you think that the Middle East, like if we had done nothing in terms of the Middle East, that they would just be savages and just be like, America didn't do anything it doesn't set anything backwards. And you're just like bombing a place.
Yeah, kind of. I think that we did set them back because when they don't have political order, it prevents development and investment and things like that. But, again, when you look at the antecedents of all these, the history didn't start, like you said, with World War II in the 20th century. There's a reason that European civilization created this enormous gap between them and everybody else. And I don't think it was that it was white supremacy or it was unfair or something like that. I think it's because Europeans are smarter.
Wow.
I just have to say,
that is Europeans are smarter. Okay. And this is the type of attitude that a lot of European people, like when it comes down to the conservative side, have. But I'm not a leftist, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to how people see stuff, it's very, very skewed towards we're dumb, they're the smartest, and nobody knows anything more than they do. Let's go into
extremely smart, very good at what he does, and he's a rising star. In fact, he's had some massive popularity recently. He's been just the other day for live streams. He was #2 in the country for live streaming. So he is becoming massive. He was censored for a really long time. He was banned from pretty much everywhere, deplatformed, debanked, pretty much have been ripping him off the internet since he was young. And lately, they have been reinstating him. A lot of it with Elon Musk gaining X back, buying X, kind of allowed Nick to have his platform back. And since then, Nick has grown and grown and grown. And the thing that's controversial about him is that he has a lot of, I would say, very white nationalist ideology. So, yes, his last name's Fuentez. I get it. It's like, I mean, what's that about? But seems to be hyper male, hyper whites in America, Catholics in America, or Christians in America, keeping America white, Christian, and dominated by men. But I'm probably mischaracterizing it a bit, but that is how he's viewed. He's viewed as an alt-right, total white supremacist. Others have also praised him, not just me. Glenn Greenwald as well. This is what he had to say about him.
And so you can see how this is really opened up. And when that happens, whoever's there first and doing it at a time before it opens up, before it's safe, before it's easy, is going to have a lot of credibility on that topic because they were doing it before everybody else was. And that also is kind of what has made this Nick Fuentez's moment. And I don't care how excluded.
He's a Spaniard. I want to do his 23andMe and see what his actual heritage is. I can guarantee you he has some Jewish heritage because a lot of Spaniards have that Jewish heritage, and actually probably Middle Eastern, like kind of like that part of Africa heritage.
He is, how banned he is, especially among young conservatives. Probably overwhelmingly young conservative men, though I don't know exactly what his demographic is, but I imagine that's an important demographic. It's a big influential demographic. He is, I would say, for conservatives under, 30, 35, 30, arguably the single most influential and admired conservative influencer, right-wing, far-right influencer, whatever you want to call him.
He didn't even know really exactly how to categorize him because his some of his opinions are quite wild. I definitely don't agree with a lot of Nick's opinions, but there are a lot of opinions I do agree with. And he is extremely talented at hosting his show. He's extremely intelligent. So where did the beef come from? Now, why are they calling him a Fed? This is a guy that had been banned for the last 10 years. He kind of came on the scene and when he was 16 years old. Alex Jones, I think, is the one that really discovered him or something along those lines. I don't really know his background totally. But he exploded onto the scene more recently since he's been banned, and now he's being accused of being a Fed. Let me show you a clip of the interview that started this beef. And this started in July. Nick went on Candace Owens' show. Now, Candace got a lot of flack for this because Candace is a woman and Candace is Black. And Nick Fuentez has made a lot of comments about women and Blacks because he's got a very patriarchal, white, nationalist viewpoint of how the country should be. So she invites him onto the interview, and the takeaway is that the interview was somehow hostile. This is one of the clips from the interview where she asks Nick, kind of prods why he's not married. Now, he's 26 years old. He does talk about conservative values. So she's wondering, why are you not married?
I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me, so I know you're married. I know you're older than me, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my situation. I don't think you're in a position to give me advice, especially as a woman, honestly. I don't think women, this is something in the right wing. We say we're anti-feminist, and then women go around telling men what to do, who are not their husbands. And, I don't really buy into that ideologically, but that's besides the point. My life has been tumultuous from the very beginning. From the time I turned 18, people were coming for my neck and trying to get me, and I was kicked out of college. And then, once you're...
Who in the hell fault is that? Boo-hoo.
branded as an anti-Semite before it became cool or popular, can't get a job, can't make a living, get banned from PayPal, all this kind of stuff. That's a very difficult environment to try to have a dating life,
Well, you made that happen. That wasn't nobody boo-hoo. Boo damn who. Same thing you say to Black people about what they talking about, boo-hoo to you. Oh, yeah, I was branded this. Well, you put yourself in that position.
What do? I go out on Tinder, I go to a bar, and I say, hey, I'm a neo-Nazi Nick Fuentez that the ADL is writing articles about every day. I'm going to start a dating profile on Tinder. People are going to screenshot that, mess with me in all kinds of ways. It's a very difficult predicament, actually, for me, because I took on basically a huge sacrifice at the beginning. And I don't know that you really appreciate that enough. I think that you're somebody who...
Why in the hell should she appreciate that? She's a Black woman. You just said you were a neo-Nazi. What the hell?
You know, you had a career in politics for as long as I was fighting a battle. You were at Daily Wire with a contract. You're at Turning Point. You're making good money. You're doing book deals. You're part of this thing that I'm criticizing and paying a very heavy price for at a time when no one's saying those things, when it's very unpopular. And it's not to say that I'm a victim, you know.
Well, honey, now is your time. You know, Trump's in office. Everybody loves you now. So shouts out.
Because I did it willingly and I love it and I would do it again. But it is to say that, you know, you and I have lived very different lives. And, you know, it's easy, I think, for you to say you had your...
You sound jealous, bro. She's married. She got kids, whatever. You call her Uncle Tom. You call her this. You call her that. But really, you're kind of jealous. Like, look at how he's talking about. He really want to be with her husband. Have your kids. You got your ducks in a row, made quite a bit of money. Then you discovered the truth. And then you went out on a limb. And it's not to say you didn't make sacrifices and it wasn't a risk. And it paid off. You're doing great now. And I congratulate you. But with me, there was no calculation. I mean, I almost want to say I was 17. What's your excuse? I was 17 and I woke up and I went balls to the wall, bucket of ice cold water, as you say. I made a lot of enemies and maybe that wasn't wise. You know, but I told the truth and I took on extremely heavy cost for my personal life. It basically has made it so that I can't have a personal life. I don't even have many friends. Forget about, you know, dating women. I can't even really have a lot of male friends because there's such an incentive to betray me, to turn your back on me, because there are people that are being paid to attack me all the time on Twitter or for information about me, things like that. So, you know, it's something like everything else that I'm fixing. And shouts out, she's able to like just listen to him and all this bullshit he's rambling on about. Come on now.
Figuring out one step at a time, just like my show. And, you know, when I get banned from something, you know, whether or not I'll be able to have a family and kids and what that'll look like. But I mean, it's a little more complicated, I think, than maybe you understand.
I feel like you just got super triggered by me just saying something so casual. What was that about?
See, I don't appreciate
you're a woman. Like, you're a woman. I mean, I was just having a conversation with you, just being like, hey, like you there's a lot of growth that comes from when you start a family. Like that's it's a pretty cool thing to do. And I feel like you got pretty triggered there and got like a little upset. I don't know what I did there.
I don't like that you say triggered.
But you are a little bit
I'm being candid. I'm being candid with you. And
but saying, oh, a woman just it's
super triggered. He's super triggered. And by the way, it's at Normal. I think the place I'm watching sped it up. Shouts out to King Iverson. Copyright.
It's like, okay.
You're talking about my personal life. You're talking about my personal life.
We're having a conversation. I talked to tons of people about their personal lives. Like, why do you feel like that wasn't a line of attack, Nick?
I know it wasn't a line of
So
attack.
why you kind of responded like you were just attacked?
Because you're giving me this lecture, giving me this advice about things and telling me, you know, you don't know who you are and all this kind of stuff.
I said that when people start families, it does commute your perspectives a lot. And sometimes when I see these clips of you floating around or certain things that you do or say,
it does. Selfish.
It does. Yeah, but you admitted you were selfish.
And I just don't really.
You said I don't want to. What are you talking about?
Okay, so
right. She and shouts out. She was able to kind of hold her peace. But honey, I probably would have been going in.
This is the conversation. And then afterwards, Candace and Nick kind of had a back and forth. Candace then ultimately gets invited onto Tucker Carlson's show. And for whatever reason, Nick Fuentez comes up in that conversation. Here's that.
I probably shouldn't even say this, but the only reason I know who he is because someone sent me a video a few years ago of him attacking me. And I was like, so I'm looking at this. And I'm like, well, first of all, this kid's really talented, like legit. And I can assess that just having done the job for so long. So it's like, wow, lots of talent, native talent. And he's attacking my dad as a CIA, his dad's in the CIA or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's no, untrue. And my father dies. And I learn actually, yeah, you know, was involved in that world. Completely.
That's not true. He did admit that his father was in the CIA, so we're not fixing to tell that lie, but let's go.
Shocked by it. So no one has to believe me.
He said that like way before this interview. And so I don't know what's going on with this lie that's going on, but I'm going to skip past all that.
Is because his father was in the CIA and he's a CIA working. You would be a lot more likely to take Russian money than I would be to work for the CIA because you would never take Russian money and you're not Russian. But I mean, I really hate the CIA. And I mean, I mean, that's like very offensive to me. So why would you?
It's like personal for you.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
And anyway, like, who is this kid exactly? And maybe it's just an accident that the guy exclusively goes after people who are in the same, roughly the same. And then he gets up there and he's like, you know, making Holocaust jokes. And it's like, is it possible that this is like David Duke? And David Duke, every time I had a new show, David Duke would endorse my show. I don't know, Dave. Who the hell is David Duke? Well, David Duke is obviously.
But hold on. If he did his DNA, if he is really a Spaniard, he probably 9 out of 10 is Ashkenazi Jew. That's the weird thing about this whole thing is that he is talking about Hitler and this, that, the other, I want to see his DNA.
Part of a campaign to discredit people on the right, obviously.
Mm.
And I think it's very obvious that Nick Fuentez is exactly the same. Doesn't mean everything he says is false. It doesn't mean he's not talented. He's enormously talented. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. I'm not attacking him personally, but he is clearly part of a campaign to discredit non-crazy right voices.
So there it is. Tucker is saying very clearly he believes Nick Fuentez is some sort of a Fed, some sort of a plant, somebody there to make people with the viewpoints like Tucker Carlson's or Candace Owens look like idiots. And we're going to get to that. What would be the point of someone like Nick Fuentez being a Fed? What would be the point of somebody like Tucker Carlson being a Fed? He gets accused of it. There are certainly people I suspect of being Feds. I'm not going to lie. And why wouldn't I? There's been people in the media for a long time who have been Feds. In fact, this is what Nick Fuentez says about Tucker Carlson. He, in response, actually, I'm not sure if this is a response or if this was previously, but as Tucker says, you know, Fuentez had been saying for a long time, don't trust Tucker. His dad was
Specificity, what the goal is, but I don't trust it even slightly. And it just makes me angry because at the bare minimum, he knows far more than he's letting on. This whole shtick, I don't watch TV, I don't use email, give me a break. This whole shtick, I just like to fish and I like my dogs and I just like Zen, give me a break. In between stories about his childhood where he's hanging out with the Contras and he's hanging out with the operatives that overthrew Mossadegh, which if you know anything about this, this is just like glowing in the dark, like a shooting star. It's unbelievable. You might as well say I missed my flight on 9/11. You might as well say something like that at that point. You might as well say I was in Dallas in November 1963, but I had nothing to do with it. I was renting books or something. I was looking and book shopping when all.
Do y'all think he gonna run for like office at some point? It seems like this whole thing and what he's doing is trying to build up a political career. It seemed like he is trying to build up a career in politics by being an asshole. So let's go into some more stuff.
Wing.
okay. So who's the Fed? Is it Nick Fuentez? Is he the Fed? Is it Tucker Carlson? Is he the Fed? Is it somebody else we don't even? Is Candace Owens the Fed? I mean, who's the Fed in this group? Because they're all kind of pointing fingers at each other. Milo Yiannopoulos gets in on this and points the fingers even more at Nick Fuentez. And he says, remember when Nick had his money frozen by DOJ? Ask him how he got them to unfreeze it. Answer, informing. Then ask when it was unfrozen. Ask for proof. He was lying to fans every day, taking cash off teens, claiming his account was frozen 6 months after he got it back. And Elon Musk writes, doesn't make sense that the FBI leaves Fuentez alone unless he's an asset of some kind. So even Elon Musk is now getting in on accusing Nick Fuentez of.
And this was August 11th, y'all. This whole thing been heating up. I don't know. So this was like 2 days ago. This is Elon Musk joining in. This is getting crazy.
Potentially being an informant. Milo then goes on to, he shares a video, which I'm going to play for you here in a second, of Nick Fuentez at J6, which kind of adds to the evidence that he might be a Fed. And Milo says, no charges, because Nick was one of 30 or so confidential informants working for the FBI on January 6th to entrap Trump voters. His victims were tortured for years in jail. At least 5 are dead. And he plays this video of Nick Fuentez from January 6th.
He's moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Keep marching and don't relax. Never relax. Yeah! Hold this in. They're going to the Capitol. They're evacuating. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us. Yeah!
Okay, so you hear him there on J6 saying, we're taking the Capitol back. He's kind of, it sounds like he's riling up the crowd to, it could be construed as going in and taking it by force. And other people like Nick Fuentez were carted off to jail for that sort of thing. So why wasn't Nick? So that is what Milo Yiannopoulos is sharing, saying, why did he not end up going to jail for this? And Elon Musk even responded to that as, And then Nick Fuentez says this about it. He says, I was on Bill Barr's enemies list in September 2021, according to Project Veritas. I was subpoenaed in January 2022 by the House Select Committee and testified under oath that I was never involved with federal law enforcement. This is the definition of Fed jacketing. So trying to claim Fed jacketing is, painting somebody as being a Fed, putting a Fed jacket on them. And that is what, at least I think that's the definition. I could be wrong on that. Am I wrong on that? To me, I think let me just look that up real quick before I look like a total idiot. Right. It's wrongfully calling somebody a Fed, claiming that it's a term in the American left for when an organizer is painted as an agent provocateur, either literally a federal agent, an FBI, or an asset wrongly. So snitch jacketing is also related, similar term, fundamentally amounts to the same thing, only with the implication that the person is being, a snitch. Okay, so Fed jacketed. So Nick Fuentez is being Fed jacketed, he says, but there's this evidence that others are pointing at saying, you kind of look like a Fed. And I think the big question, and then here's one last one, defensive Nick. Let's do some defense of him. This is Myron Gaines, and he says, Nick is not and has never been a Fed. As someone who actually served as a federal agent, I can attest that his placement on the no-fly list alone is irrefutable proof that he never worked for nor cooperated with the government. The fact that he's been blackballed from every major media platform, debanked, and subjected to countless other hardships only reinforces this reality. This reeks of a coordinated hit job, especially given Nick's exponential growth and rising influence. So he's kind of saying, he's like, look, I've been in law enforcement. He's absolutely not a Fed. And the only reason why people are saying this is because they're threatened by the fact that he is just rising in prominence, that he is skyrocketing in fame, and they're somehow trying to delegitimize him.
Isn't that a mess that a person is an actual federal agent would come in to try to change the narrative about a person that's being accused of being a federal agent? It's weird. Right. So I want to go into this because, I don't know whether he's a federal agent or not. That's still yet to be seen. But let's get into this narrative where he's calling people Uncle Toms. And I thought this was very interesting. Let's go.
I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diversity quotas were a thing. You were hired when white guilt is the thing. I don't feel white guilt. I never have. DEI is over. So now you're done. You need to be fired. You
don't feel white guilt because you're not white. You're not white, sir. You are a Spaniard. And listen, do I need to bring up Spaniards and what they really are? Okay, so here we go. Spaniards are predominantly European, with a significant presence of Caucasians, while Spain has a history of mixing with other groups. The majority of the population identifies quote unquote as white, right? The term Hispanic is often confused with race, but actually refers to a cultural and linguistic group, encompassing people of Spanish-speaking origin, regardless of their race. Many Hispanics of Latin America have mixed heritage, including Spanish, indigenous, and African ancestry. resulting in terms like mestizo and mulatto. Okay. So while there have been historically mixing with various groups like Celts, German tribes, and Moors, Vikings and Moors, majority of Spaniards are considered Caucasian and European in their genetic makeup. But the bottom line is that the Moors conquered Spain. Okay? Now, when you have a name like, what's his name? Fuentez. The Fuentez family, with the surname also spelled Fuentez, is predominantly of Hispanic origin. Okay? So we're talking about like Mexican, like where we talked about, not Spaniard. Okay? So you're talking about the part of, so if you're talking about a Spaniard from Spain, Fuentez is a family that is from Hispanic origin, from not from Spain though. When you say Hispanic, that is talking about Latin America, not just Spaniard, but Hispanic. The Fuentez last name is Hispanic, right? So that's talking about Latin America. And what happens when you go into Latin America? A wide range of racial and ethnic identities with terms like mestizo, mixed European, and indigenous. So he is not 100% white. So it's crazy to me that he is talking all these points, but he is a Hispanic. Fuentez' last name is not straight out from Spain. It's a Hispanic last name. Hispanic, not Spaniards, Hispanic. When you go into Hispaniola, you're going into mulatto, mixed, all type of indigenous, all everything. You're not 100%, sir. Now, if you had whatever the last name, well, let me get some names, some last Spaniard. Common Spaniard last names. Let's see. Garcia, Gonzalez, Lopez, Martinez, Rodriguez, Hernandez, Perez, Sanchez, Alonso. I don't see Fuentez nowhere on here. Spaniard. Garcia, Rodriguez, Gonzalez, Fernandez, Lopez, Martinez, Sanchez, and Perez. Fuentez ain't in this list. Fuentez is Hispanic. So it's crazy to me that this guy is up here with all these racist talking points, and you are Hispanic, sir. You're Hispanic. You're not even like a full Spaniard. You just got like some red. Maybe your father might be white and he mixed with a whatever. Or your mother might be white, but then she mixed with like a Mexican, and you're trying to pretend like you're not. You done push your hair and did like a scoop underneath and make it look like you're white, but you're not. You are either mixed with like native or black, sir. But you want to get up on these things and talk all this nonsense. Listen. He gonna tell some people are Uncle Toms and all this other crazy stuff. Well, you're a Hispanic Uncle Tom. I don't know what that word is for a Hispanic person that's acting like he's white. Is there a word for that? I need to find out what the word for a Hispanic Uncle Tom is.
I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diversity quotas were a thing. You were hired when white.
And what grift did you build your career on? That you're actually Spaniard and not a Mexican. When your last name is Fuentez, okay? I need someone to look into his whole background and find out what part of Mexico did his family come from, Fuentez. Someone look up the Fuentez last name and find out what part of like South America that Fuentez, because Spaniards, that's not a Spaniard last name, that's a Hispanic last name. Straight up. So to call people Uncle Tom when you are a Mexican looking Uncle Tom, South American Uncle Tom, stop it. Let's go.
Guilt is the thing. I don't feel white guilt. I never have. DEI is over.
You can't feel white guilt. You're not white. You identify as white, but you're a Hispanic.
So now you're done. You need to be fired. Like, you're done. So I respect the black people.
You know what he's doing? He's passing. You know how back in the day, certain black people used to like be able to look light skinned or whatever, have green eyes, whatever, pass. He's passing. He's like a passing Latino Hispanic man that is passing for white. And so he's trying to push up this thing so he don't get deported. Because if they find out that he probably, whoever family that came in his lineage and said, you know what, you really ain't no real American, he ain't trying to get deported, so he gonna talk all this shit. I want to see if ICE look up his records and see what's going on with his family, because this is crazy.
I don't feel white guilt. I never have.
I'm
kind of done with all the Uncle Toms.
Guilt of something.
In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative.
Uncle Tom token Latino Hispanics that try to pretend like they white and they not black. I mean, they're not white. And scooping your hair down like this and doing a Donald Trump hairdo is not going to make you look more white, sir.
You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diversity quotas were a thing. You were hired when white guilt is the thing. I don't feel white guilt. I never.
You know what's so crazy is that, okay, when they talk about DEI, it's also affecting the Fuentezes and Perezes and Fuentez and Blasquez and Elwez and all the Hispanic Spaniards, the immigrants.
Have DEI is over. So now you're done. You need to be fired. Like, you're done. So I respect the black people that have actually earned their stripes. People like Myron Gaines.
He's a Sephardic Jew.
He didn't ever get any favorability for being black. He got canceled, you know? So,
is he a Sephardic Jew?
I've just had enough of this kind of like legacy DEI shit. I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that.
Whatever. He said so I'm not sure what a Sephardic Jew is. Maybe it's like the people that like the shepherded sheep or whatever it is. He is not 100% white. He's not white all the way. Period. If your hair ain't blonde with blue eyes, even Hitler, I don't even know why he was wilding, because Hitler hair is black as hell. His eyes are dark. Honey, you are not all the way white. If you ain't got no blue eyes and blonde hair, I don't even understand what they were trying to do. What are you doing? Honey, I'm surprised the soldiers didn't come and get him first. Like, you know, well, hold on. I know we're trying to get these people over here, but we got to come get you because you ain't all the way white. The way that we're trying to do with the party and purity and everything. You know, so it's just interesting. So So, I want to talk about little Nick Fuentez stuff, but I want to really go back and get really to the point of what I really want to talk about. And that is the stuff that Trump is doing with the African American Museum and how he is trying to reshape Black history. So, I enough about Nick Fuentez. Bump him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a little bit about this, and then we're gonna pretty soon at the hour. So let's go.
Done it again when it comes to the issue of slavery. This time he's trying to whitewash the slavery exhibits at the Blacksonian, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Meanwhile, the secretary of the Smithsonian, Lonnie Bunch, who created the Blacksonian, is trying to get support from Republicans to be able to go to the president to prevent any actions that the president wants to take. President Trump.
That's the scary part, is that they are really trying to remove Black history off the planet Earth, and so Trump has this letter, the Trump letter to the museums. Hold on. To the Smithsonian. Let me see. All right, so let's look into this. All right, because this is crazy right here. I don't understand why are they going so hard on it's so the White House is planning. Let me zoom in on this. The White House is planning an extensive review into the Smithsonian Institute to ensure that its exhibition of American history ahead of the country's 250th birthday. So what he's trying to do is make it so that, by the time they have the 250th birthday, that he is able to whitewash history. Now, this is not the first time that history has been whitewashed, because if you look at all the statues in Rome and in Greece and all these different places, right, you see all these white statues, right? But if you actually look underneath them, they had color to them, and you would see that they were not all white people. But what they did was they put this, what they call whitewashing, right? So what they're going to do is try to remove the Black history out of it, same way they did with Egypt, same way they did with Rome, with Greece and Europe and everything, all these places where you would think that Black people had nothing to do with nothing. We were just these tribe people that were just in the middle of nowhere, just unga booing, unga booging. You know what I'm saying? We don't, Africans have no history at all. We don't have nothing to contribute to nothing. It was all white people, and they didn't enslave us. Everything was great. And it's going to lead to a whitewashing of history. Reflect the unity, progress, and enduring values that define American story. This initiative aims to ensure alignment with the president's directive to celebrate American exceptionalism, remove divisive or partisan narratives, and restore confidence in our shared cultural institutions. That means remove all negativity that means slavery didn't happen. That means none of that happened. We need to get rid of anything negative that happened in the past and just only focus on the greatness of America. And also that the Black people had nothing to do with the greatness. It was 100% white Caucasians that did everything, and we had nothing to do with nothing. we are just here and whatever, and get rid of us and just keep it moving. And we want to sit up here and argue over conservatism. We are the Uncle Toms and the people that are just so wrapped up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Trump this and Trump that. And meanwhile, history is being removed. They don't care about that. When the immigrants was getting kicked out, they didn't care about that. Well, no, I'm worried about us. Well, honey, it ain't about to be no us. They trying to move us too. Why do you think that they start off with them? We next. No, we ain't worried about the immigrants. We worry about just us. Well, honey, when are we gonna really start worrying about us? Because we're the ones that they're gonna start removing. That all that shit was a smoke screen to really be able to double down on us. But we'll see. All y'all conservatives that voting him in, y'all Republican, and y'all like, yeah, I'm glad he doing it. Y'all sound like a bunch of nihilists. Like, really, you really are leading into the takeover of your culture and the whitewashing of your culture. This is probably what happened in ancient Egypt. You know what? This is probably what happened in ancient Egypt when Rome took over. There was a bunch of niggas that was like, well, I agree with Caesar and all the people in Rome, that all the king of Rome and what he's doing. I agree with it. And next thing you know what I'm saying? They arguing whether then you got Nick Fuentez. We was kings, being a smart ass. Well, no, you black people was not in Southern Saharan African. I mean, you guys were not in North Africa. You were in Southern Sahara. Let me show you this. Hold on. What's his name? Lucas. I'm gonna show y'all where he actually said some wild stuff like, no, we was not in here. Let me bring up Lucas. Let's play this. Let me just go ahead and play him because he was the best one to break it down. Let's go into it. And I might not get monetized off this video, but I'm not here to be monetized. I'm here to tell the truth and to talk about what's going on. But monetization at this point. Fuck monetization. I don't care about being monetized. I want to bring the information, and I hope that someone sees it. I know YouTube is shadow banning me off of their thing and not showing my videos, but the ones that come see it and watch it, I hope y'all see it. This is Amazing Lucas, and check out what he says. And he breaks the whole thing down. Go ahead. Shouts out to Amazing Lucas. Let's
magically disappear, unless you're Epstein, in that case. But he will, file a lawsuit or something, right? He will try and make your life extremely difficult. He'll try and financially bankrupt you via the power of the White House and, people who bend the knee to him. That's what he will do. And when you look at his cabinet is not full of diverse opinions, diverse thoughts, and experts. That's not what's filled of. It's filled of loyalty, loyalists. That's what it's filled of. It's filled of yes men, where we have an emperor has no clothes on. And that is the problem, okay? That's why I'm saying it's really, a distinction without a difference at this point. And I say that to say this because it's gotten really egregious recently. And what he currently wants to do is do a review of the Smithsonian. Now, we're all aware of the Smithsonian. I personally visited the Smithsonian, a great place, a lot of great, Black American history there. And he wants to review the texts, the exhibitions, the social media posts.
In Washington, the White House is ordering a review of the Smithsonian Museum and exhibitions. They say their goal is to align the content in those exhibits with President Trump's interpretation of American history.
What? Now, if that doesn't scream fascist dictator to you, I don't know what to tell you. The problem with that is that he has a very limited scope of history. Trump came and ran on as far as a very much white nationalist talking point of, hey, we've got to stop, the anti-white racism going on here. And everything that he has done, whether it's reparations to white people.
Explicit unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies policies that hurt our country so badly.
Whether it's we saw what happened when it came to DEI, when they say, hey, we don't want any DEI in the federal government. Who got negatively impacted by that by far? Black Americans. We saw how they removed the Tuskegee Airmen. They removed them. They have associated DEI with Black people. So can you imagine what the museum is going to look like in accordance with his interpretation of history?
The examination will look at all public-facing content, such as social media, exhibition text, and educational materials.
Where he'll probably water down where we saw this in Texas, where they said, Black people weren't slaves, they were immigrants, that they immigrated over here. That's the type of flowery, ahistorical language that we are dealing with.
Is being done to, quote, assess tone, historical framing, and alignment with American ideals.
I never truly believed when people were saying, well, Lucas, this isn't history, this is his story. I was like, okay, that's some Hotep, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff, right? I never believed where it's like, Lucas, you have to understand that the victors, are the ones that write the history. And I will say, this is starting to make those people look very, very sane and very, very credible.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Hello. Shouts out to Lucas for bringing this to the light. Shouts out.
Regardless of whether or not you want to agree with them, but we're starting to see how they are framing and rewriting history. And what they are doing this is to make, little Timmy feel good. And the best way to make little Timmy feel good about the country, because that's what they've constantly said, is that, hey, we want to teach the people to love America.
Is to remove the real history that America was on some old wild, treacherous stuff in the past. And then now, they feel the white guilt. This is the whole thing, white guilt. That's what, what's his name? Fuentez. I don't know. I no longer feel the white guilt. Well, sir, you weren't even. The Spaniards was in South America, and you should feel the white guilt because y'all was making a big money off the slave trade. So feel the white guilt.
We want to teach that in the schools.
Children will be taught to love America. Children will be taught to be patriots. Children will be taught civic values.
Children will be brainwashed. Do you hear this?
Schools.
Children will be taught to love America. Children will be taught to be patriots. Children will be taught civic values.
Does this sound like North Korea, y'all? Are they going to have a TV in every household that broadcasts the president's message every 5 minutes without you being able to cut it off? That's the next step.
For schools that want federal taxpayer funding.
Which is very much similar to a fascist dictator, where everyone is, hey, we love the country. Country's the greatest. The country has done no wrong. Oh, I love the president. This is awesome. Greatest thing ever. And with that type of mindset, the irony is we wouldn't even have this country. If everyone was going, yeah, absolutely, I don't mind, taxation without representation. This is the greatest thing ever. We would have never had 1776. If we had this mindset, we would have never had a civil war. We would have never had much of the progress that we have made in this country. And the problem right there is that word, progress. What
they are trying to remove the progress. There's no progress.
Every type of law, every type of policy, every type of regulation is looking to push us back to the golden years, as they would say. Those are the years where you were a slave, or where you can go to that diner because it was whites only. That is the era. That is the mindset for many of this lineage of evil. That's where they.
But here's the thing: is that Trump is a known eugenicist and a known person that believes that the white people are more smarter and better and whatever than the blacks, right? So he's pushing the eugenics thing, you know what I'm saying? So he come into office, he's pushing that agenda, and we're over here, with our, I don't know what the hell we're doing. We agree and this, that, the other. Well, I'm a conservative black person, I agree with it. You are crazy to agree with this. You are agreeing to the whitewashing of our history. You're agreeing to the elimination of us, and you need to wake up.
they want to take the country.
The president says the Smithsonian is being influenced by divisive and race-based ideologies that promoted American values as harmful and negative, and is directing the museums to celebrate, quote, American exceptionalism.
So to have Trump completely scrub the history books, because they mentioned where he actually didn't want them to say that he was impeached. And the museum obliged. Now, the museum tried to say, well, it was always meant to be temporary because we were going to do a different, exhibit on, the impeachments.
So he want to pretend like he didn't. So he wanted them to lie. So once again, whitewashing history. I didn't get impeached. All this lies, whatever. Next thing you know, it's going to be a TV in our front room. He going to be broadcasting. We can't have no computer. It's just going to be a TV in every household, like King Jong-un would, like we in North Korea.
Of the president.
So recently, the institution removed references to Trump's 2 impeachments from an exhibit on the American presidency. A spokesperson for the museum says those references were intended to be temporary initially.
Now, if you believe that, like I said in the intro, it has to do with coercion, right? It has to do with pressure from the White House. And we see how this White House has pressured not only networks, they have pressured people, they have pressured businesses, and that's what we are dealing with. This is, I don't know what other word to say it, but it is fascism. That's what we're dealing with. If you don't like my political perspective and you try to censor me or coerce me.
I know I'm being censored right now because ain't nobody even in my audience. I normally have at least like a good amount of people up in here. I know I'm being censored. Come on now. I know I'm being censored. I know that this is a censorship, but it's okay. But I'm going to still do my show, and I'm going to end it when I end this thing. But I'm going to let y'all know that I hope y'all do the replay on this and see what's going on. I'm not really here to pretend and bullshit nobody.
To change it or to forget changing it or just straight up just silence me, yes, that is what's going on. And I find it hilarious that the people who constantly want to talk about the freedom of speech and the Second Amendment, especially the Second Amendment nuts, right? Those Second Amendment cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs people. Second Amendment, and it's like the whole purpose for them not wanting a list of whoever, who has a gun is because they don't want the government to know who has a gun. But I'm like, bruh, what's the point of a list if Trump is teaming up with Planter, right? And we're having surveillance, we're having AI that already knows you have a gun. They know where you got the gun from. They know who you're talking to. They know as far as in order for you to use the internet, you have to sign the terms and conditions to use the internet. They know that in order for you to get certain parts, you have to sign for these parts. They know everything that they need to know. So it's really this false sense of security. And it seems that the people who are constantly talking about freedom of speech and the Second Amendment and my right to do all this don't really care about that, bruh. They just want to appear like they have control. And
we're living in a simulation. All this shit is simulated. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a simulation. It's the whole thing is contrived. I don't. That's all I can think of is that this whole thing is a contrived, like a figment of our imagination that everybody's kind of feeding into and making a reality.
And that is dangerous for the country because there are people who really will take control. If you don't want control of your life as an American citizen, there is someone out there that will take control for you. Because when you truly think about it, when you truly think about American history, the only divisive part of American history is having to deal with Black Americans. That is something they have done everything in their power to erase. And they will erase Black American history if it means making them feel good about themselves. That's what they will do, bro. And you know it, and I know it. That's what we're going to have. And so how do you
think there's such a push to erase our history? Who are we? Why do you think that there's such an important thing to get rid of our history, get rid of the past, get rid of everything about us, and then try everything in their power trying to delete us off the whole planet? We need to do some serious self-understanding of who we were, who we are, and why this new group of people that have only existed for 60,000 years, when we've been existing for millions of years, why is it that they are now in control and they are doing everything to annihilate us, take us off the map, get rid of our history, find ways to make sure that we do not have a history that we never existed, whitewash us out of the history books, because they want to be the new group of people. But their birth rates are low. They're trying. So listen, you know, they will be killing themselves if they are successful at what they're trying to do. They would be killing themselves because their genealogy, as strong as they want to pretend it is not that strong.
You then send your child to the schools. I mean,
I don't think these people are really from the planet Earth. I think they're from a whole nother galaxy, and they're not from Earth. They then came from somewhere else, came onto Earth, popped up out of nowhere, and they are doing everything to either destroy Earth or take it over, or something. There is something ultimately diabolical about how they are doing this. There's something to it. I'm sorry.
It goes back. I mean, it's sad that we have to quote, you know, our ancestors and whatnot, but it goes back to what Malcolm X says. Like, how you gonna have, you know, the demons teach your kids? How you gonna have them teach you about you? And, you know, we are seeing this live, where there are going to the history books are going to get changed in accordance to their interpretation of history. And we've already seen their interpretation of history. We've already seen where people are saying, hey, I don't want to go on an airplane if it's a black pilot because I think it's a DEI hire. I don't want to do it, you know, affirmative action because it's racist. We've seen how they have completely mutilated history.
You think this is what happened in ancient Egypt? When the Romans, you know what I'm saying? Do you think they were all white and they came into ancient Egypt and just did the same thing? And this is how we're just repeating history. Something is about this is like a circular thing that has been like increasing over time. I think this has started off with Egypt, and this has been like a vendetta
to fit their narrative, to fit their agenda, and any crimes and any type of evil they have done throughout history, which per capita, they are the number one violent group of people. Number one, this lineage of evil. And what they are attempting to do is sweep that under the rug. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you got.
Listen, I'm beginning to believe. I'm gonna take this off of here and just go right into me right here. As I begin to see this whole thing unfolding, I believe that these people, and it might not just be all white people, just like a certain group of people, they don't come from here. They're from a whole nother place, and they have gained control. And what they're trying to do is to completely devour the earth. They want to devour all natural things, because wherever they come from is not a natural place. Whatever planet they come from, whatever they come from is just desolate, and they're just used to it being like that. So they want to get rid of anyone that's of a natural from this earth. And this has been a plan from the very beginning to destroy anything that is natural. You see it in the water, you see it in the foods. Like who would come into a place and make all the vegetables and all these things, just do all the, destroy the water? Like what? These cannot be people that come from this earth. You cannot be of this earth and be this destructive. I don't believe that the people that are in power are from this earth. I'm sorry. And I want to say that with all my heart and all my spirit. They are not of this earth. They are from some other planet that have, we talk about alien invasion. I believe that we've already been invaded, and this is the invasion. Whether they come from up there and from the firmament, or they come from up inside the ground, something, been hiding and came back up, I don't know. But there's a reason why there's no ancient Egyptians right now. And I believe that this group of people are the ones. I believe that these people are the ones that got rid of the Egyptians, that got rid of the ancient Africans. There's a certain like culture of people, group of people, that when a society gets to a certain point, they come in, they take over, and then they just crush it. They probably did it to the Atlanteans, the Lemurians. They are like the annihilators. I'm sorry. And I'm going to do some research. There's something to this. Because why would a group of people be so like don't care about the earth, don't care about nothing, and just want to be so destructive, and then try to erase the history of them to make and whitewash the history to make it's like, no, we didn't do nothing. No, we didn't. We were good the whole time. Hey, Reverend Greenback, I was thinking to end this live, but I'm gonna let you say something because I was about to end. Go ahead.
It's a great show, Queen. Great show, DJ Genesis. Yeah, I would say that we're not alone, as they say on X-Files. Nope. And there's plenty of literature that will explain that. There's Octavia Butler's Pattern series.
Let me type it in. Octavia. Let me I'm gonna just put that in here so I can
She's the first one to predict. You use the words "Make America Great Again," and this was written in the 1980s. So
Octavia Butler. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
She was a high awarded sci-fi writer, science fiction writer. I mean, she's won the highest awards next to Frank Hubert, the Dune writer, and others. You know, she's up there, the championed.
I mean, do I have like a tinfoil hat to think that these people are not from America? So I've also seen that they just said that the aliens. So what they're doing is, I think they're now saying that NASA is, or I don't even know if this is a true story or whatever, it's a fake. But so they were saying that the aliens are they're black and that they're coming in November, some shit like that, right? So I don't know if this is true or not. But this is getting into some weird shit what I'm talking about right now. But they're saying that the UFOs are coming from these aliens that are coming into, and they look black people. But I think that
there was
go ahead. They're 7 foot black people. Go ahead.
There was always George Clinton from Parliament of Funkadelic, and he came out with this movie called Cosmic Slop. It's on YouTube. That's a great one to watch. And man,
I remember when the Nation of Islam at one point thought about the mothership. So that's why I think it's interesting that they joined the Scientology group at some point because they believe in the mothership. So
L. Ron Hubbard was another one. Yep. He was
L. Ron Hubbard is a science fiction writer.
Right.
He created a cult based on like whatever, blah 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 blah. You know.
Right.
So there's something to this. There is no way no natural human would be doing this. It's when I like my mind, the way my mind goes, it's like this is out of this world. The way that people are doing this, they are not from the earth. They're not from Earth. These are, and I don't even think they're reptilians of the Earth, right? They are from something outside of the Earth that have come into the Earth, and that now they are destructive. Because even a reptilian has to have to survive in water, right? So they can't be reptilians. And I'm getting really, 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 aluminum hat on, but I don't care. They have to be of some kind of a species or something from another planet that don't need water to survive, don't need air to survive. Because everything they're doing on the earth is destroying the thing that you would need, any normal human being would need to survive. And then trying to erase the history of humans, whether they be black, whatever, because he said the Smithsonian. When I think about this, it wasn't just like black people will think, oh, we're trying to remove the black thing. No, he said anything that have to do with America being this way, no, it had to we're gonna whitewash that into nothing. America's always been a great thing. I've never so this guy, I think Donald Trump is something else other than what we think he is. I'm sorry. There's something to this.
Well, for all intents and purposes, I have dabbled into reading, and I can entertain. I have no problems entertaining and bouncing back what you know. So if you kick the ball to me,
I mean,
I
I'm gonna
can
give
kick
it
the
to you.
ball back to you.
Yeah, okay, all right. So go ahead. Based on what I just said, what can you substantiate? Because I believe there's something bigger going on than just not politics. It's not politics. This is something like more sinister. You know?
Well, I mean, definitely, it's an interesting time. We have a pope who's from America. He's the white pope, and we also have the black pope, who's also in America too. The black pope is in California. That's of the Jesuits. That's the superior. They call that the superior general. So there's always two popes. The Jesuits has the black pope. The Jesuits were black, and the Catholics, the Catholic pope, usually who's in Rome, or Vatican, that he wears white.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are from the United States at this time.
Interesting.
If you ever look at the Bible, it talks a lot about water, but it talks about a being hovering over the face of the deep, and explains the 7 days. Then explains there was this serpent all of a sudden, and we know that a serpent lives in water,
Mm-hmm.
and some have speculated that the serpent had seen what was ever hovering above the firmament, got the jump on him. You have the Anunnakis out there in Mesopotamia, the Iraq region. There's a lot of serpents. There's a lot of serpent colonies. Pythagoras, the long Greek historian, a mathematician. Pythagoras in Greek means python. And in order to gain that recognition at that time in Greece, they would go to the pyramids and spend time at the pyramid they would call Delphi.
Mm.
And that's a lot of serpents. There's definitely secret societies here on Earth. And it appears that a lot of things now aren't as secret. We're getting a lot of information. And some say this smart device that is in our hand has a chip, and it is in the palm of our hand, like a marker. You see the Jetsons. The Jetsons every day. Rosie, the robot, the maid, she'd say, "Hey, Mr. J, hey, Mr. Jetson," and she'd feed him a pill.
Mm.
A pill which would probably be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There was also 3D printers in the Jetsons as well. They were living in high rises. We haven't seen flying cars yet available, accessible to the public to buy. But I'm not saying that they aren't available to people who have those means. But yes, I believe we're living in a time where we're going to see things rather quickly. And yeah, it is interesting that all this fruit that grows it from the earth, all the herb yielding seeds, it's all been regulated. The average person, if they try to plant a tree today, are they going to be taxed on the fruit? Are they going to be taxed on the vegetables?
Honestly, I don't think that whatever this plate thing is, they're trying to get rid of all the fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. Population control is super necessary, it seems. There's too many people on Earth. Bill Gates, he disappeared all of a sudden. He was always in the tabloids for the pandemic. He always was appearing trying to be like he was a medical genius, but his thing was always software. But he's the one who spoke about Corona.
What type of person would get control of the potatoes and then create like want to use human waste to put as a manure and all type of like sludge? There's something very strange about how these people are moving. It's like, I get it that it's the corporation, but there's something weird about how like everything is just the most disgusting shit. You know what I'm saying? There's no humanity in anything that's going on here. Like it's not even about racism at this point. This is just about like just
the technology is being.
But why did Bill Gates get out of technology and go into like viruses and
bio foods and stuff like that?
Why did he do that? Like, why? What is going on? To me, and then you have Elon Musk. And why did he get out of that and go into Mars and whatever the fuck he's doing? Like, there's some. He went from PayPal to Tesla to rocket ships. To me, these are not normal human beings, because what they're doing is destroying the earth at the same time. Like everything they're doing. Like, why is Elon Musk with his AI machines putting this stuff that is going to destroy humans? Can't even breathe. These people can, like, he's putting like chips in his head and doing stuff to where he probably won't even need to be able to breathe. He's turning into a robot. I don't know what Bill Gates is doing. Like, these people they're not humans.
Yeah, that Neuralink, it's coming. And I was told by a professional one time, it was around during the Biden administration, and she told me, she said, yeah, Trump, he's in the Bible. He's the first trumpets, like in the seven seals, blowing the trumpets. That's him.
Well, no, even deeper. They're saying he's a space traveler. He's a space. He's a time traveler. That he's in a book, and his son's in a book, and there's a whole book. And so there's something to all this. This is not just normal. I'm sorry, this is not normal stuff that we're looking at. This is not the way things are going. Is not a regular. We want to make it about race. It's not about race. This shit is about the alien race. You understand? This ain't about the human race. It's about alien race that have come down here and they're trying to get control. And we humans are so caught up in color that they're able to capitalize off of that. Because and then we don't even realize these people are not even human beings.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is where it's going at. People are on the edge. It's anything could trigger someone to go outdoors and cause chaos. It appears peace sells, but who's buying? And war is so profitable right now. You have people falling in love with AI, robots, or AI technology,
But
and being dumped.
the aliens are the AI. The AI is in the alien. That is alien technology. It's not. That is not human technology. Once we realize that this AI shit is not human.
Yeah, I mean, vice is more accessible than virtue. And at one point, it used to be fun just going outdoors and no cell phones on us. We wanted to get away for the weekend. Yeah, we could print off some things for MapQuest and start driving, but there was a time where no one would really know where we were going unless we told them. This was probably about 20 years ago. But today, all these tracking devices, the internet browser history, it's there forever, it seems. And the social media, I'm hearing that we're moving to the dark web soon, where the dark web is going to be more accessible to all of us. So what's your thoughts?
What is the dark web? But just
Well, the dark web usually is the internet side where you can buy certain things. You can watch certain things. Certain people
disgusting.
use certain people use VPN.
No, what the dark web was what the military used before. So they called it like the dark web, the deep web. The majority of the internet was on the dark web before it was ever known as like the internet that we know right now, the World Wide Web.
Right.
That existed first. And then
the dark web first, yes.
Yeah, the dark web existed, and then they turned it into the World Wide Web.
Correct.
So that was a huger thing. A big
right.
thing. And then it became used more by pedophiles. And I don't understand why even in this world pedophilia is so huge and so accepted. There's something to it.
The consumption of innocence.
That's because these are not humans.
No, they're not. These are monsters. These are not humans.
There's something inhumane about how they are treating the earth and how they are treating like the land, how they are treating vegetables, how they're treating plants, how they're treating the water, how they're treating everything. That the whole natural earth, it just disgusses them. Even to the fact that if we are known as the first human beings that ever been on the earth, and how much that they hate us, if that there's something to that. The reason why they hate us so much is because they're not from the earth. Like why would a species ever be on the earth and hate something that is original?
That is the question at hand. Is the public?
And it's a scientific fact that we are the first human beings on the earth. People have done like research and found out that we were the first. So therefore,
absolutely.
How could God create something? It can't be of God. It has to be something else.
There's I always remember in the movie Battlestar with Rihanna, There was when they finally caught this alien. It was a gray, and it was and they had this close up of this leopard gecko, and they had a close up of the alien, and he was all grayish, whitish, pale, and he couldn't handle the sun. There's something to this link of between the reptile and the alien, and you know, from what I hear, there's grays, and then there's the green ones, and there's the black ones. I always heard that the gray ones are the ones that are unfriendly. These are the ones that are doing the abductions.
Man, there's this thing called the Pleiadians. There's all kind of different ones. There's
The
like
star
there's
system.
over like 5,000 different aliens on this earth.
Yeah, the star system, right? The
5,000
Palladians,
different
yes.
aliens. So like they want to only talk about the grays, but there's various different alien life forms on this earth.
And they say, well, sometimes I've seen pictures of the Palladians in books where they are supposed to look like them.
Right.
And they're Nordics, as they would say, Aryans.
Well, this one dude did a whole interview saying that there's only two of them that's still on this earth, and that there's a spaceship that's hovering above the earth and all kind of wild shit. But I mean, I don't even know how much of that is like to like see like they're like superior. But the bottom line is that there's some level of they want to be so superior, you know. And the thing is that okay, so how could you? So you have a whole group of aliens that come onto the earth that feel superior to the civilization that's on the earth, and then they do everything to enslave it, to dominate it, to destroy every natural resource that it lives off of. And that's the part that I'm like, okay, is anybody paying attention? Put them in jail, create all type of weird like sexual practices within it. Everything that's happening right now is not just about white, black, conservative, Democrat. They want to throw these like labels onto it, but the truth is that when you go beyond that, these people are not from this planet.
Right. I mean, I remember even in John Carpenter movie called They Live, where Roddy Piper, he was wearing these glasses, these sunglasses, and when he took them off, he'd see regular people, but when he put them on, he'd see what it really is. He'd see these extraterrestrial human beings, and once they caught on that he's seen them, you know, it was they were hunting him. It's a movie by John Carpenter. It's an early John Carpenter film, but a masterpiece one. It's called They Live, and it explains a society that is a dystopian future where buy, sell, obey, and you're supposed to consume. And this is exactly when it comes to these advertisers. They have a lock on people.
It's like all like to buy into this illusion of life.
Right, and keep the people pacified. Keep the people conformed. Yes, and it's working well. There's a time where people said they have seen time travelers. You know, so all the above, like
they said Trump is a time traveler. They said he was Elvis, all kind of about. But I'm not even gonna get into the weird shit. I'm just saying, like, there's something. And then you see people getting high off these like fentanyl pills. Like, who created this? Like, why is there a pill that makes you bend over backwards and you know what I'm saying? Can't even you just bent over backwards, okay, and then still standing up. There's some that's the zombies. You don't even need to have zombies. That's the zombies. I seen the whole video of people just lined up, just bent over like this.
Yeah, we're one sneeze away. You know, someone catches something, and boom.
That and boom. And see, like to me, it's like you don't need a disease to like populate something. Just start off with the drug population right there, and you can test
Yeah,
everything out on them. And I believe that's what they're doing. They're testing them. They're putting new drugs out, getting them high, getting them out, they're testing different things out on them, diseases on them. You know, and New York is just a cesspool, so it's easy to like throw something there.
absolutely. I mean, New York. There's the mole people who live underground. I mean, literally citizens of New York who they're not your regular homeless people. They live in the subways, like deep under the subways. They call them the mole people. There's a book based on it. A real nonfiction book on people who don't want to live in the homeless shelters, don't want to live on the streets. They live deep in the subways, and they're called the mole people. And there's mole children too. And yeah, I mean, there's a subterranean cities have always been prevalent, even in ancient times. Subterranean um, uh, towns. They say under every zip code, wherever you're at in the United States of America, the post office to the police station, there's usually into the town hall, there's usually some underground connection where people can, some bunkers. Um, and I've know that that is true for certain towns. I don't know when they start preparing these things or were they already there. But yes, people live underground. Yes. If you look at the Aztecs and they had these deities that were serpents, like Quetzalcoatl is really a serpent deity. Um, but you have these cults. You have the solar cult. You can identify them too by their flags, their national flags. You have the lunar cult, and then you have the stellar cult. The stellar cult would be the star. The lunar cult would be the moon. And then the solar cults would be anything like with the sun. So if you see something like Japan, they have the sun. See something like the Jewish state of Israel, they have the stellar, the star. See something like Saudi Arabia, Morocco, they usually have the star, I mean the moon. And there are religious cults out here as well. And they have adherents far and wide. Faithful adherents, pious adherents, disciples. And right now, it's no time to waste. If you see someone leave a book bag behind, pay attention to details, and you might want to throw the book bag away or leave, you know, because it's that time right now. They're here in this country, unfortunately.
Well, listen, you know what? I thank you for your time to explain some of this stuff because I just know there's something more to it. It's like it's one thing to just talk about like racial thing, but I think that's like a wag the dog concept. You know, we're way beyond race.
We have
There's way more.
psychics. We have psychics. They're now the new e-girls. E-girls are the psychics. We have psychopathic people who are talking to these online for consultants. We have trad wives. We have 304s. The sex robots are coming. You know, they're coming. How would you feel you have an Android neighbor next door to you? The new Americans. How would you be able to take them?
I don't think that's going to be about. I don't think that we're going to be here. I think that they're going to get rid of all niggas before that.
You think so? Oh wow.
That's their objective. They
That's
don't want us
scary.
to be around when that shit happens. They're trying to create an all-white society. They're trying to get rid of us because we are the original. So they want to get rid of the original. When they have all these movies out called the originals and this, that, the other, and this, that, and whatever, they're talking about us.
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a quote. Said, original man, know thyself. From us came all. To us all shall return.
Yeah, well, that will happen on another plane.
So we're done. We don't have a fighting chance.
I mean, what about the Atlanteans? What about that? They probably thought the same thing too. Trust me. The Egyptians, the Atlanteans. I believe that this is like we're the last of a dying breed.
Have you ever heard of Lemuria?
Yep, and they're gone too.
Right.
The
flood does happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is like
The cycle.
This is the end of the cycle. This is
Something like every 25,000 years or something.
Because the earth ain't gonna let this go down like it's about to go down. So, like, every once in a while, a weird ass group of people come in and try to do this, and Earth just wipes it out.
Heaven's Gate cult, Applewhite. He was saying, Earth has is about to be evacuated. Yes.
Yeah, he just a little bit earlier than he probably should have did it. Yeah. Let me tell you this. The reason why I think this is that look at all the everything happens in cycles. There's a certain number of years. Heaven Gate just had the wrong time. I'm not going to try to figure out what the time is, but I just know that we're like creeping up to something.
They had all those fresh Nike kicks on, all white.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to get into that. I'm talking about like
I know.
There is a time where people technologically get to a certain point. It's called the Fermi paradox, and it just resets, you know? And that's where we're at, you know?
Is that a Sanskrit word? How do you say that word again?
I'm gonna just show you what I'm talking about. All right.
Okay. I see. Okay. The Fermi paradox.
Only living things are we the only living things in the entire universe? The observable universe is about 90 billion light years in diameter. There are at least 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 to 1,000 billion stars. Recently, we've learned that planets are very common too. And there are probably trillions and trillions of habitable planets in the universe, which means there should be lots of opportunity for life to develop and exist, right? But where is it? Shouldn't the universe be teeming with spaceships? let's take a step back. Even if there are alien civilizations in other galaxies, there's no way we'll ever know about them. Basically, everything outside of our direct galactic neighborhood, the so-called local group, is pretty much out of our reach forever because of the expansion of the universe. Even if we had really fast spaceships, it would literally take billions of years to reach these places, traveling through the emptiest areas in the universe. So let's focus on the Milky Way. The Milky Way is our home galaxy. It consists of up to 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. Counting one per second, it would take you 100 lifetimes to count them all. There are about 20 billion sun-like stars in the Milky Way, and estimates suggest that a fifth of them have an Earth-sized planet in its habitable zone, the area with conditions that enable life to exist. If only 0.1% of those planets harbored life, there would be 1 million planets with life in the Milky Way. But wait, there's more. The Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. In the beginning, it would not have been a good place for life because things exploded a lot. But after 1 to 2 billion years, the first habitable planets were born. Earth is only 4 billion years old, so there have probably been trillions of chances for life to develop on other planets in the past. If only a single one of them had
Now, I don't believe in the Big Bang, but anyway, we'll let this go.
developed into a space-traveling super civilization, we would have noticed by now. What would such a civilization look like? There are 3 categories. A Type 1 civilization would be able to access the whole energy available on its planet. In case you're wondering, we're currently around 0.73 on the scale, and we should reach Type 1 sometime in the next couple of hundred years. Type 2 would be a civilization capable of harnessing all of the energy of its home star. This would require some serious science fiction, but it is doable in principle. Concepts like the Dyson sphere, a giant complex surrounding the sun, would be conceivable. Type 3 is a civilization that basically controls its whole galaxy and its energy. An alien race this advanced would probably be godlike to us. But why should we be able to see such an alien civilization in the first place? If we were to build generation spaceships that could sustain a population for around 1,000 years, we could colonize the whole galaxy in 2 million years. Sounds like a long time, but remember, the Milky Way is huge. So if it takes a couple of million years to colonize the entire galaxy, and there are possibly millions, if not billions of planets that sustain life in the Milky Way, and these other life forms have had considerably more time than we've had, then where are all the aliens? This is the Fermi paradox, and nobody has an answer to it. But we do have some ideas. Let's talk about filters. A filter in this context represents a barrier that is really hard for life to overcome. They come in various degrees of scary. 1. There are great filters, and we have passed them. Maybe it is way harder for complex life to develop than we think. The process allowing life to begin hasn't yet been completely figured out, and the conditions required may be really complicated. Maybe in the past, the universe was way more hostile, and only recently have things cooled down to make complex life possible. This would also mean that we may be unique, or at least one of the first, if not the first, civilization in the entire universe. 2. There are great filters, and they are ahead of us. This one would be really, really bad. Maybe life on our level exists everywhere in the universe, but it gets destroyed when it reaches a certain point, a point that lies ahead of us. For example, awesome future technology exists, but when activated, it destroys the planet. The last words of every advanced civilization would be, "This new device will solve all of our problems once I push this button." If this is true, then we are closer to the end than the beginning of human existence. Or maybe there is an ancient Type 3 civilization that monitors the universe, and once a civilization is advanced enough, it gets eliminated in an instant. Maybe there is something out there that it would be better not to discover. There is no way for us to know. One final thought, maybe we're alone. Right now, we have no evidence that there's any life besides us. Nothing. The universe appears to be empty and dead. No one sending us messages, no one answering our calls. We may be completely alone, trapped on a tiny moist mud ball in an eternal universe. Does that thought scare you? If it does, you're having the correct emotional reaction. If we let life on this planet die, perhaps there will be no life left in the universe. Life will be gone, maybe forever. If this is the case, we just have to venture to the stars and become the first Type 3 civilization to keep the delicate flame of life existing and to spread it until the universe breathes its final breath and vanishes into oblivion. The universe is too beautiful not to be experienced by someone. This video was made possible by your support.
Wow, that was pretty heavy right there. The Fermi paradox. So, do you believe in heaven? Do you subscribe to the idea of heaven?
No.
Okay. Where do you believe the soul goes, or the spirit?
I believe in reincarnation.
Do you subscribe to immortality through the bloodline? Say,
Yep.
for instance, the transmigratory cycles of rebirth and death?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I do as well. I believe that that's exactly how come we multiply and some of us don't. But it's very sad that when we, as humans, get close to somebody that we love, we spent all this time just getting to know who we were, and unfortunately, the people that we get to love and birth, build families with, it's only a short period of time that we get to know them.
Right.
Then we go back to diapers again, or lose our hair and have wrinkly skin, the aging process. Are we at a point, though, where, forever young? Because I see a lot of people trying the Botox.
I don't believe that we can
face-
continue to do that over and over again. I think that people do that until they figure it out what they really, whatever like lesson they want to learn. And then at some point they don't have to come back to this to like learn it, and they move to another level. I don't believe that we just keep going doing the same thing. I think that people come here for a lesson. They learn whatever they tell a Romila that they want to learn when they come here, then they learn it or not. And some people continue to repeat the cycle, and some people move on to the next level. I think it's like a levels thing. So the Fermi paradox is kind of like explaining that to a certain level, but like not, There are certain people that come back to the beginning.
Right. I see.
The Fermi paradox is not just a paradox of Earth itself, but the paradox of the soul.
Have you ever found someone who truly subscribes like that to what you believe in?
Well, kind of like that's what E5 says.
Why are people who believe these things such a minority, or when we speak out on these things, people are trying to silence our voices?
Normally, well, you have to be initiated normally to like learn that, but then two, when African religion and tradition has been demonized and to be evil.
Right.
It's priests. It's people that know. They're looked at as like demon, evil and whatever. The Christian and different belief systems look at these ways of thinking to be of Satan.
In the very beginnings with them, they were killing these people as soon as they got power.
Well, not power, but when they came into the societies, they would find out, and then they would say no.
Right. Well, I know that you said you had to leave.
Yeah, I do. But if you want to find out more, I'm gonna show you a website you can go to.
Sure. Hit the like button, subscribe, share.
And it's right here. It's called right up. So this is the file in the
Right, the cowrie shells. The cowrie shells. I love those mythologies, or the mythos behind all the above. Obatala, Oshun,
Well,
Ogun.
the biggest thing is that what this is showing when you look at the Oponi 5 is that the macrocosm affects the microcosm. So what you're seeing right here is everything that's happening in the universe is happening on a smaller level here. So it's all related. And then it's individualized too. So each individual controls the universe. See, so this is Hebrew cosmology. This is Yoruba cosmology. Voodoo cosmology. Chukwe. And it's all pretty much the same thing. When you really bring it all together, it's saying the same shit, you know.
And now it's more. It is a global. The ancient ones were all on some same type of network. They're all on the same type of time. Definitely. And Ifa happens to be one of the restorative spiritual practices that are still.
So Hebrew cosmology, Yoruba cosmology, Voodoo and Igbo, and Congo cosmology all line up.
Right, the
They all
Kikongo.
say the same exact thing
Correct.
in different
Yes.
ways.
Yes. Yeah, it's about time. I know one of the fastest growing religions today on earth is no faith at all. Faith no more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's it called? Atheism?
Correct. And however,
Religion, yeah.
we're at a point where people are leaving. Young people aren't going to the church like that. And there's nothing wrong with becoming knowledgeable or being initiated into that old time religion, as we're seeing right here. Have you been initiated?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that one right there, those look like Igbo more. I'm not sure if you heard of the Ikingas. Right there. Yeah, just their heads. And definitely looks more Igbo right there.
Oh, very much. Well, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's not from the same area, you know.
Yeah.
Or same thing. They all believe in the same similar type of thing.
Right.
And so the whole objective, the whole aspect of it is really like this whole thing of the 256 Odu. This is the actual Odu, which is is how things come into being, right? So this is a table of how, and then when you actually understand the Odu, it tells you everything, how everything comes into being. And so that's why the divination system is so exact, because there's such an extreme level of preciseness of the numbers versus the orisha, the everything that it connects to. It shows you how things come into play. The Odu explains how white people came into play, how lust came into play, how homosexuality came into play. Everything. It breaks down everything. And so and all African traditions have some form of divination.
Correct.
But that's a whole nother story, y'all. But all right, YouTube has been banning my content, but it's okay.
I see.
They have been banning the fuck out of me, so I don't know why, but it's okay.
Do you remember when it first started, or when you caught wind of it?
It's been going on. I had Baba on, and he said a few things, and after that, he started talking about the Jews, and yeah, after that, because Baba Joshabiah be getting in with the information, but yeah, when you start talking about the Jews, that shit started toggling like a motherfucker.
And we know this, so they have some rules.
Well, he said it.
Don't criticize.
When he said it, I was like, oh shit. But you know what? He's 89, he's 79 years old. I'm letting him say what we gotta say,
Yeah, it is.
I gotta respect my elders and let them say, you know what? Because that might be the last time you hear, so I'm going to allow him to speak and say what's going on. So if the platform don't like it, so what? So I'm gonna be working towards like trying to move all my content about this bitch and probably onto a website, because I know that they're not gonna give me what give me my just due of like the work I've been doing, but it's okay. Because I got like over like 1,500 views. How many videos I have on this channel? Like almost like 2,000 by this point.
And it's what would you do if you lost? Are you able to save them?
No, I don't have to like individually go through all of them and download them.
Take a while. Let's see.
Yeah, so
you're not interested in Rumble yet?
Yeah.
I heard they pay well.
I'm tired of like going to like platform. I'm gonna create my own platform. I'm a software engineer, so I'm just gonna create my own.
Let me know, and I will probably join with you.
Okay.
I'm trying to motivate myself to finally launch my meditation channel.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know. I'm working on it in the background. I've been working on it. So
ginger tea. It's gonna clear that up.
Thank you.
Ginger root tea.
So this has been a great live, guys. There's one person that probably saw it. YouTube is not pushing my videos out, but it's okay.
I've noticed that. I don't know why. I don't know the science behind all of it, other than when I see people going through this, they say the same thing.
So yeah. But it's certain people though. It's not everybody.
No, it's not. But would you say it's shadow banning or no? It's something different.
I don't even know what it is. I can't even describe what it is. But it's okay.
Wow.
I'm not here for. I'm here for the few that like actually want to hear something. So it's okay.
I hear you on that.
Let those that want to hear. So, all right, I'm about to like go to bed. Talk to you soon.
All right, adios, everybody. Luego.
Peace.
I am blessed to make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making